Hi, I'm Leona. I'm a graphic designer who can barely afford rent on my studio apartment while my brother lounges in a mansion drinking champagne for breakfast. Not that I'm bitter or anything. My alarm screamed at 5:30 a.m. as usual. Another day, another desperate hustle for freelance gigs that barely cover my bills. My laptop, 3 years old and hanging on for dear life, whirred loudly as I opened my design software. 2 client deadlines today, and the coffee maker just died. Perfect. My phone buzzed with a text from Marcus. Don't forget dinner at Uncle Raymond's tonight. Wear something nice for once. I rolled my eyes. Ever since Uncle Raymond gave Marcus that ridiculous inheritance 6 months ago, he's been insufferable. $60 million, a Tesla, and a freaking mansion in the hills. Meanwhile, I got a pat on the head and a, keep working hard, dear. 20 years of being the responsible one, the one who actually cared for our parents before they passed. And this is what I get. I'll be there, I texted back, fighting the urge to add something snarky. That evening, I pulled up to Uncle Raymond's estate in my 2008 Honda with the check engine light permanently on. The valet actually smirked when I handed him my keys. Inside was worse. Crystal chandeliers, waitstaff carrying silver trays, and Marcus holding court by the fireplace, showing off his new Rolex. Leona, you made it! Love the outfit, very creative. The way he said creative made it sound like homeless. I smoothed down my one decent dress, bought secondhand but still the nicest thing I owned. Nice watch. Does it tell you when you're being an ass, or is that feature still in development? Marcus laughed too loudly. Still bitter, sis? You know Uncle Raymond rewards ambition. I built 3 tech startups while you were doodling for a living. Doodling that paid our mom's medical bills while you were finding yourself in Europe, I muttered. Uncle Raymond appeared, clapping Marcus on the shoulder. There's my boy. Just signed the papers on that investment we discussed. Another 10 million well placed? He barely nodded at me. Leona, glad you could join us. The night dragged on, Marcus showing photos of his new yacht. Uncle Raymond boasting about Marcus's business acumen to anyone who would listen. Me, invisible except when someone needed their wine glass refilled. By dessert, I couldn't take it anymore. I slipped out to the garden, gulping fresh air. Tough night? I turned to see a man I didn't recognize, maybe mid-40s, with kind eyes and a serious expression. I'm Derek. I used to be your uncle's attorney. Used to be? I left the firm 6 months ago, right after your parents' estate was settled. His expression darkened. There are things you should know, Leona. He handed me a manila envelope. Don't open this here. And don't tell anyone you have it. Not yet. What is this? The truth about why your brother got everything and you got nothing. And it's not what you think. He disappeared back into the house before I could ask more, leaving me standing there with an envelope that suddenly felt heavier than it should. I clutched the envelope all the way home, white-knuckling my steering wheel through every red light. My apartment felt even smaller than usual as I tossed my keys on the counter and ripped open the package. Inside were documents. Lots of them. Financial statements, emails, meeting minutes, and a handwritten note from Derek. I couldn't be part of this. Call me when you've read everything. 3 hours and 2 glasses of wine later, I sat surrounded by papers, my hands shaking. According to these documents, Uncle Raymond had worked with his financial advisor, Vanessa Collins, to systematically divert my inheritance to Marcus. There were emails discussing how to manage Leona's expectations and ensure Marcus remains dependent on our guidance. One particularly damning email from Vanessa read, Raymond, we've successfully amended the trust documents. Leona's portion has been restructured as a small annual stipend that she'll never receive unless she agrees to the management terms. Marcus remains unaware of the full arrangement. As long as he continues spending at his current rate, he'll need our advice indefinitely. My phone rang, startling me. It was my best friend Talia. How was the dinner from hell? You need to come over. Now. 30 minutes later, Talia sat cross-legged on my floor, sorting through the papers. Holy shit, Leona. This is some real criminal mastermind stuff. Your uncle and this Vanessa woman basically stole your inheritance and are using your brother as a puppet. I always thought Marcus was just the favorite. But they're manipulating him too. Look at this investment structure. Every business move he makes funnels a percentage back to Raymond and Vanessa. Talia picked up another document. This is wild. Your parents wanted an even split between you two. According to this, you should have received $28 million plus property shares. I paced my tiny living room. I can barely make rent, and these people just decided I didn't deserve what my parents left me? So what are you going to do? March in there and confront them? Lawsuit? I stopped pacing. No, Raymond has connections everywhere. If I go at him directly, he'll bury this and me along with it. Then what? I picked up a photo from the pile, a holiday picture from last year. My parents, Marcus, Uncle Raymond, and me. Everyone smiling like we were the perfect family. I'm going to expose them, but smart. These people care about image more than anything. I'll set a trap they can't wiggle out of. I'm listening. Vanessa is hosting that charity gala next month, the one Raymond always attends to show off how generous he is. Everyone who matters will be there. Talia grinned. Public humiliation. I like it. But we need more than just these papers. That's where Derek comes in. He obviously has more he's not showing us yet. I picked up my phone, scrolling to the number Derek had scribbled on his note. I need to record them admitting what they did, and I need to get Marcus to see how they're using him. You realize once you do this, there's no going back, right? No family holiday dinners, no reconciliation? I looked around at my struggling life. The secondhand furniture, the stack of overdue bills, the laptop held together with hope and duct tape. They stopped being family the moment they decided to steal what my parents wanted me to have. I don't want reconciliation. I want justice. Derek met us at a coffee shop 3 days later, sliding a small black case across the table. Top-of-the-line recording devices, small enough to hide in jewelry or accessories. They'll capture everything within a 15-foot radius. Talia picked up one of the tiny microphones. Damn, spy movie much? I worked with your parents for 20 years, Leona. What Raymond and Vanessa did violated everything they wanted for their children. I pocketed the devices. I've scheduled a family business discussion for tomorrow. Told Raymond I'm interested in learning more about the investment opportunities he's always pushing on Marcus. He actually bought that? Talia raised an eyebrow. Hook, line, and sinker. Even suggested bringing Vanessa along since she's so knowledgeable about wealth management. The next day, I arrived at Raymond's office 30 minutes early, wearing a new blazer with one microphone pinned inside the lapel. Talia had positioned herself as my assistant, with another recording device in her tablet case. Remember, we need them to explicitly mention the diversion of funds and the manipulation of your inheritance. I nodded, adjusting my earrings. Another hidden microphone. And don't let Vanessa leave the room if things get tense. She's the weak link. Raymond and Vanessa arrived together, all smiles and expensive perfume. Marcus trailed behind them, already looking bored. Leona, darling, so wonderful to see you taking an interest in financial matters at last. Vanessa's voice dripped with condescension. Well, after seeing how well Marcus is doing, I figured it's time I learned from the experts. We settled around the conference table, and I noticed Vanessa eyeing Talia suspiciously. My assistant, I explained. She takes excellent notes. Raymond launched into a presentation about various investment opportunities, all suspiciously complex and requiring his direct oversight. These particular funds have exceptional returns, though they do require a minimum investment of $5 million to participate. I widened my eyes innocently. That's amazing. Is that where Marcus's inheritance is invested? Marcus perked up. Actually, I've been wondering about that. The quarterly statements are kinda confusing. Vanessa quickly intervened. The portfolio is diversified, Marcus. Remember our discussion about leaving the technical details to us? I'm just curious about the management fees, I pressed. Seems like there are multiple layers of them. Raymond shifted uncomfortably. Standard industry practice? Is it standard to create shell companies that funnel those fees back to the advisors? Like Rayvan Holdings? The temperature in the room dropped 10 degrees. Where did you hear that name? Vanessa's voice was suddenly sharp. Public records are fascinating, especially when you know what to look for. Vanessa glanced at Raymond, who cleared his throat. Leona, perhaps we should have this discussion privately. Why, we're all family here. No secrets, right? Like how my parents intended for me to receive half of everything, but somehow it all went to Marcus? Marcus turned to Raymond. What is she talking about? Your sister is confused. The estate planning was very clear. Was it clear when you and Vanessa created the amended trust documents 3 days after Mom and Dad's funeral? The ones that weren't properly witnessed? Vanessa stood abruptly. This meeting is over. Marcus, we should go. Sit down, Vanessa, I snapped. We're just getting to the good part. Like how you two structured Marcus's gifts so he remains financially dependent on you forever. Marcus's face darkened. What the hell is going on here? Raymond slammed his hand on the table. Enough! Leona, whatever you think you know. I know everything, Uncle Raymond. And now so does Marcus. 2 weeks later, Vanessa's annual charity gala was in full swing. The ballroom of the Grand Hotel sparkled with wealth and fake smiles. I adjusted my diamond earrings, courtesy of a small advance from my attorney on my pending inheritance claim. Are we really doing this? Marcus stood beside me, looking uncomfortable in his tuxedo. Our last meeting had ended with him storming out, but the evidence I'd shown him afterward had finally opened his eyes. Cold feet, brother? No way. These people played me like a fiddle. I'm just not used to being on your team. Get used to it. I nodded toward the stage where Raymond was preparing to give his annual speech. It's showtime. Vanessa spotted us and hurried over, her smile tight. What are you two doing here? Raymond and I made it clear that you'd destroy us if we went public? Yeah, we got that memo. Marcus crossed his arms. But then we wondered, what would happen if we went public anyway? I smiled sweetly. Raymond tapped the microphone. Welcome, everyone. Another wonderful year of giving back. I walked toward the stage, Marcus and Talia right behind me. Derek emerged from the crowd, joining our little procession. Leona, don't do this, Vanessa hissed, grabbing my arm. I pulled away. Watch me. Raymond faltered mid-sentence when he saw us approaching. And now, let's welcome our generous donors who... Actually, Uncle Raymond, I'd like to say a few words. I took the microphone, facing the crowd of elite socialites and business associates. Many of you knew my parents. They built a fortune through honesty and hard work. The room went silent. What you don't know is that after they died, their wishes were deliberately undermined. Their fortune was manipulated, their children, us, were deceived. Raymond lunged for the microphone, but Marcus blocked him. My brother and I have discovered that our inheritance was systematically stolen through fraud, forgery, and breach of fiduciary duty. Talia activated a projection screen, displaying the incriminating documents. For those interested in the details, copies are being distributed now. Derek and several assistants handed out folders. You'll find evidence of embezzlement, tax fraud, and multiple violations of SEC regulations. Raymond pushed past Marcus. This is ridiculous. These allegations are completely recorded. I held up my phone. Every conversation, including your admission that you deliberately diverted my inheritance and structured Marcus's funds to keep him dependent on you. The murmuring in the crowd grew louder. I spotted 3 people I knew were financial journalists, furiously taking notes. 2 SEC investigators and a representative from the district attorney's office are also here tonight. I pointed to where they stood. They found our evidence quite compelling. Vanessa made a break for the exit but was stopped by hotel security. The authorities have questions for both of you, Marcus announced. As Raymond was led away, he turned to me, his face ashen. Leona, please. I made a mistake. I can fix this. We're family. Family doesn't steal from family. Family doesn't manipulate and lie. I'm sorry. I'm truly sorry. Keep your apology. I don't forgive you. 6 months later, Marcus and I sat in our parents' old vacation house, now jointly owned by us again. Raymond got 8 years, Marcus said, looking at his phone. Vanessa got 5 plus restitution. And we got our $28 million each plus interest. Plus a lesson in trust. Marcus raised his glass. To Mom and Dad, and to you, sis, for not giving up. I clinked my glass against his. To justice. It's a dish best served in public, with plenty of witnesses. What would you do if you discovered your family had deliberately stolen your inheritance? Would you choose Leona's path of public exposure and zero forgiveness? Or would you handle things differently? Is there a line where family betrayal becomes truly unforgivable? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this revenge story, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more stories about standing up to toxic people. New stories every day where justice is always served.